So let's just, I think, maybe skip all the stuff. But I think it's important to note Decky there, which is he's clearly back, and also Porro coming back apparently earlier than expected, seeing he was on international duty.
Porro was the first one back.
And he was the first one back. So the man's man's mentality is unmatched. I think
The guy's a beast.
He played
He's a
last
tank,
season.
mate. He's an absolute tank. Played the most minutes out of everyone in like Europe or something last season, and then he's come back first, and he's in the gym like literally on his own, just waiting for all his teammates to come back. I love it.
It's crazy. So you go there on the pitch. This is the first time we've seen him on the pitch on Thomas Frank. Most the beginning part I think is just like the kind of running league.
To see Big Dom back.
Yeah, I think all the others are low lips.
Vuskovic, Spence.
This is them doing
Still
their
looking
running.
fairly empty at Hotspur Way. Still a lot more players still to come back.
Yeah, you got a lot of main players. There's Porro. It's interesting. We're going to react to a video they did about before and after running, and Porro looks like he barely broke a sweat.
And Dom.
The other players are completely dead. But yeah, look, this is quite interesting. You can see here Abbott leading the way, it seems, in the running, and apparently, according to Lily White Rose, he would recorded the fastest time.
Yeah.
So, which is really interesting. Obviously, got
1 kilometre.
rave reviews. He got on loan, and obviously plays in that central midfield position, which commands a lot of stamina. So I think that's quite interesting. And maybe he'll look at that physicality of Abba and think, "Wow, is that something that we could really use?"
Yeah, 100%.
Is he going to be our monster six?
Very well could be, but you look at all these players, they look pretty dead, to be honest. Lancashire, Spence before Dom. Dom looks alright. And Thomas Frank just laughing. Vuskovic. It's good to have Vuskovic.
It's funny. It's funny right now with training because obviously, obviously those are rumours. Don't want to bring back to Ange, but the rumours like the players aren't going to be happy with Ange, all that kind of stuff. But none of these players really worked on that much under Ange, did they? They're all out on loan and stuff. So a lot of these players are going to be, it's going to be a kind of new thing for them, like working with the first team.
Yeah, but I'm still sure they had a lot of interaction with Ange, and but you still have Dom there, you have Porro there. Is that it? And Spence.
Dom Porro, Spence. There's Yang, seems to be absolutely finished.
Spence as well.
So for first team players, it's Dom, Porro and Spence. That's all we have. That's what matters. Vicario?
Yeah. And Vicario, yeah.
And obviously Decky's there, but he's Philly's like done. I'm done. Well, your time at Tottenham's done, mate.
I'm done. Get me to Argentina.
So I think they actually did some stuff with the ball at one point. And that was that was nice to see. Quick one there, just quick shot there of Bergvall. So looks like is that him fully back in training then? We think.
I'd assume so.
Looks like he's back with the team, doesn't it?
They said wasn't he touch and go for the final?
Well, that was just bullshit rumours. No one actually confirmed
not true?
that. I don't really think so, but he wasn't that far away, I think, if I remember rightly. I think Ange said if the final would have been 2 weeks later.
Yeah, so you'd assume.
Well, not by touch and go, but yeah.
Yeah, but still 2 weeks, you'd assume like that.
Wing back was like in the wing position. And Angel's a bit different, but also not great because his philosophy was like just get it back in as soon as possible. But that kind of leads to like rush decisions a lot of the time, panic. And so we know that Frank definitely did a lot of good work with Brentford on all these marginal games, and I think throws were definitely, it wasn't just long throws, there was all these different
things. Do you think we're going to implement long throws?
Maybe, I don't know. Who would take them? I don't even know.
Who would take a doggy?
Yeah, I don't know who has a long. I've never really seen anyone take a long throw at Tottenham. I don't even know who it would be. Does anyone know in the chat? Anyone seen a long throw?
Spurs haven't done a long throw since I can remember. Since Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale used to do. Yeah, he used to have a good throw. Yeah.
So I think all the other players are going to start filtering through over the next week or so.
Yeah, I think they said people like Romero are due back later this week. So here's Cochrane talking to the players. A lot of people on social media were very happy about this.
Yeah, people are saying that finally Spurs are actually getting some coaching.
Yeah, I'm sure the coaches never spoke to the players over the last 2 years. It's the first time they've ever
Ange was
spoken.
never on the coaching ground, apparently, on the training ground.
This isn't Anne, this isn't Frank.
Yeah, but you can see Frank right there.
We saw pictures of Frank on the training ground.
On Ange.
Ange, sorry, yeah.
But Ange was known for not being on the training ground very much.
I'm sure he knew what was going on.
And Poch as well. Poch actually was used to sit in his office with the screens. He used to watch training from in his office.
They used to call it Big Brother.
Yeah.
But apparently that was only later on when it was. Apparently I remember reading an article that said that was like later on when things were going wrong or something.
It's Dane, Alfie.
It's interesting. I don't know. Could he? Cochrane name dropped Vuskovic in his little speech. Is that subconsciously because he's got him in his plans? Have to wait and see.
What did he say?
He was just talking about patterns of play and stuff, and he was like, you know, if what did he say? Let's talk about Bergvall. He was like, when if Dominic is pressing Porro and he's got Luca to his left, you know, you got to make certain movements and stuff.
I don't think it suggests anything, to be honest. I think that he's just working with the players he's got there.
Subconscious. It's in your subconscious, maybe. What can you read into it? He didn't say Phillips.
No, he didn't say Phillips.
Are they the only two centre backs there? Yeah, I guess so. So there's Valise.
Where's Radu? Radu's back as well, but he's not on the grass
doesn't
yet.
seem to be on grass. Maybe it's too soon for him. Donnelly,
Jamie.
Got a big pre-season ahead.
It's going to be interesting with a lot of these young players, man. Like a lot of them as well that Thomas Frank knew and wanted. Will Lancashire, Cochrane has worked with so many of them before in the past. So it's going to be a very interesting summer to see what happens.
So that was that, and then there was this video Tottenham put out. If I get it up, where is it?
It's just on the shorts.
I think I liked it. So this is Porro before the run. This is something Tottenham put out. So look like he's barely tired there. This is Dom. Look, Dom has barely broken a sweat. That could have been before the run. And he got
Phillips is dead. Yang.
Then Yang.
Oh god, he's dead as well.
Luckily.
Let's see what Spencer's like.
Yeah, he's chilling.
Half.
Bit out of breath.
Yeah. Easy work, light work for Jed. Let's see what George Abbott was like. Yeah, it's okay.
Not too bad. Bit out of breath as well, but not too
hot and
bad.
sweaty.
Phillips is the one who was absolutely dying.
Phillips.
Absolutely loved that. So yeah, I guess what can we take away from his first training session? I think Abbott's an interesting one. With the amount of running, he's clearly very capable. So I think a lot of it as well, the difference between Premier League level and all the other levels. Obviously, technically is a big difference, but I think physically, you know, that is a big difference. I think that's like one of the major differences when you're comparing, which is why I think, you know, when you have these like cup games and stuff, you know, sometimes they're level pegging up until like the last 20 minutes and the other team just can't keep up. Because Premier League is just such a different physical. Yeah. And so if Abbott is, I know he's only with the other younger players, but if he's ahead of them, it's interesting. I think that could be very interesting.
I mean, it's great for his running and stamina and everything like that, but you still need to be at the physical levels to be able to compete with men in the men's football. You know what I mean?
Of course. I'm just you know, the fact that he had the best running stats on the day.
And it might be because, you know, he was playing at men's football last year and he excelled.
And also technically, some of the goals he was scoring as well, you could see that the guy's got good technical ability as well. He's not just you know, guy who just runs around a lot with nothing about him. Yeah, I mean, you know, the throw-ins, maybe. Yeah, positive. But are we going to start working on throw-ins?
I'm sure we will.
That's something that definitely needs work.
I think you're going to see all set pieces from throw-ins, free kicks, corners, defensively and offensively. I think they're going to massively improve next season.
Yeah, and I saw that little speech from Cochrane. He was talking about getting out of pressing situations and also focusing on those passes down the line into the striker, which I think could be focused on a bit more with Solanke, the guy we have there. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all these things, get implemented. Yeah. He said it's only the first day, so, he said these things will all improve after the first day. But yeah, look, it's all exciting. Hopefully more players get filtered in over the week, and we'll see more engaging training footage.
Absolutely. So it's good to have proper coaching staff on board finally, to get the players coached in a proper way. And
you always have to have a little dig at Ange. Always.
I wasn't a dig at Ange.
That was a dig at
That wasn't a dig at Ange. That was a dig at Ange's coaching staff.
All right, fair enough.
And actually, we know Ange's coaching staff is nowhere near at the level as what we're having now. We know that for a fact.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I assume so. I would hope so. To be honest,
and not just the staff, but also the conditioning and medical staff that Man brought in over the last year.
Yeah, that is going to be hopefully a big improvement.
I think the caliber of forget the manager, but I think the caliber of the men behind the managers, I think, are a lot higher now, and I think that's very much welcome. So I think
it's all change. It's all change.
So I'm very excited to see what that brings and how much of a level raiser that can be.
But I do wonder
what we see on the pitch
when you implement all this stuff, like medical and all this stuff. Is that like an instant change, or does this stuff take time to get implemented and take time to reap the benefits of? I don't really know, to be honest. But
yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Yeah, but it's hard because these guys we just sacked have only been in the job for a year.
Yeah.
So if it does take time, how do we know that unless we give it time? Unless it doesn't, and you're supposed to see.
I mean, you would assume like people working on the ground is just an instant impact. You would assume that.
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest.
But anyway, that is us reacting to Thomas Frank's first training session. Let us know anything that you noticed in the comments section below.